Hello, fabulous friends and fans. Welcome to your Saturn special horoscope covering Saturn's move into the sign of Sagittarius at the very end of 2014 for the better part of the next 3 years. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. Saturn moving into a new sign does suggest that all of us in some way are going to understand that our most important learning is going to come if we pay attention to the lessons that we are being called to, if we pay attention, if we act practical, and if we put in the time to gain tangible results. Saturn, ultimately, it is my belief, and a lot of astrologers out there do believe, that Saturn is reward. Saturn needn't be difficult. Even though he gets a pretty bad rap, Saturn is saying manifest and honor the fact that we are incarnated. Honor the physical plane. And this is going to be a big lesson for all of us in some way. Saturn, as he moves to the sign of Sagittarius, will be speaking with Jupiter and Neptune and Uranus as well. All of this does speak to this call to be honest with ourselves, to put in the time, and to practically manifest, to move beyond what might be a dream, even a pipe dream, and actually do the work so that we gain something very valuable in the process, self-respect, which is ultimately what Saturn is truly about. Now, I have created a special video to look at Saturn, how Saturn moving into Sagittarius is going to speak to us collectively. But this video is, of course, for your sign. I thank you so much for being here. And I thank all of you out there who've been requesting these videos for months. Thank you so much for your trust in my interpretation of the sky. It will be a great transit. I do believe that. And it will be a great move as Saturn moves through the sign of Sagittarius. Enjoy. Hello, fabulous Scorpio. Thank you for being here. I do think that you are going to rejoice when Saturn leaves your sign. Now, I do remember in the Saturn special of last year telling you that I think it's going to go better for you than it would for another sign at another time. And that's mainly because as Saturn had just moved through your sign or has been in your sign since 2012, late 2012, Saturn has been speaking very kindly to other power players in the sky, which does speak to the really positive gains you made. Yes, there were a few Scorpios who reached out and said things are really falling apart, but a lot of Scorpios actually were telling me that things are coming together. They're falling apart, but they're actually doing so in a way that is creating really good change, really positive occurrences to take place. And for a lot of Scorpios out there, really what had served its purpose had to go, and there was an ease with which things ended that needed to end so that you could feel stronger, happier, and better about who you are as you moved forward in your life. And so now here we are. Saturn will move between your sign and Sag over the course of 2015. Specifically, it is over the summer that Saturn will return to your sign for a short period of time before moving on and being gone for well over 2 decades. So you don't have to think about Saturn again for a long time to come. When Saturn does leave at the very last days of 2014, you should notice a shift quite quickly, actually. And it will feel as if some of the pressure is off. That's first and foremost. But Saturn ultimately is really good. Saturn is about tangible progress. Saturn is about manifestation. So you've just gone through this process where you've been encouraged to primarily, first and foremost, own your happiness. Understand that ultimately what matters in life is that you decide what it is that you need to be happy, and you prioritize and you make changes in the physical realm that support your happiness, and understanding that what doesn't make you happy probably most likely doesn't matter. These are all big lessons where it comes to Saturn. Now it's about you taking all that you've learned since late 2012 and implementing it. Specifically implementing it to earn you more money and to focus on your finances, to think about the value of what you are giving which is a reflection of, or is being reflected by, what is coming back to you. And so the focus starts to shift. Now, it's not going to completely be over, as I said, because Saturn is going to return in the summer of 2015 into your sign to make sure that you got the lessons and also the benefits of having Saturn in your sign. And those benefits are, first and foremost, self-respect and really grounding your happiness in what is genuine and what you really need. So now we're going to have Saturn spending the better part of the next 3 years in a part of the sky for you that has to do with getting your money right, getting your finances together. This has to do with the type of finances that actually comes from working on your own behalf to meet your own needs. And so regardless of where you have been in life, now Scorpio is the sign of resourcefulness. And so it's not uncommon for Scorpios to be really good at accessing funds or dealing with money and dealing with other people's money as a way of gaining money themselves. This is going to be a little bit different. This is going to be about you saying, you know, I have to do something myself so that I can earn what I need. I need to know what that feels like. Now, what that actually is going to go through a metamorphosis. The great thing about Saturn in this part of the sky is that when Saturn visits this part of the sky, the money that you need is there. The money that you need has a way of finding you. The money you need is there, but it might not feel like it is, or might not feel very certain. It might not feel very stable. So it becomes up to you to do your best and surrender the rest. A big, big lesson. One of the big ways to effectively deal with and make the most of Saturn when he moves through a part of the sky is in that particular area of life. You've got to do your best and surrender the rest. Have your faith, but back it up with action. So this is about you doing your best where it comes to your finances and surrendering the rest. This is about you saying, you know what, I believe, which you should believe, that the universe is prosperous, and I believe that I deserve to do something that is fulfilling as I earn a living. That it isn't about earning a living, it's about actually doing something that actually represents giving of yourself in the best possible sense, in the highest possible sense, and gaining as a result, because getting back what it is, the value of what you give is reflected in how much comes back. So placing greater value on what it is that you are giving and understanding what it is that you can do that has higher value than maybe what it is that you've done before. I do think, and as I've been saying for a lot of the signs, really it is the first year, the first part of this cycle, actually, the first year and a half or so of this journey of Saturn through the sign of Sagittarius, that is really going to ask you to bring forward that forgiveness, is really going to ask you to understand where it is that some of your best efforts, whether it's financially or otherwise, issues of self-worth are highlighted under this. So there's a very literal manifestation that has to do with money. Who are you to think that you should be getting paid more? Who are you to think that what you do is so valuable? You know, who are you to think that you should be charging that much for what you do? What you do deserves a lot less. This is the type of conversation that plays in a person's mind when Saturn moves through the second house. But ultimately, what you are meant to do is rise above that. Now, Saturn is very fair, so this is the financial sector of it. If there is an area where you want to build something, and you want your finances and you want your abundance to come from that area, but you haven't been doing it yet, this is going to be your chance to start putting stronger pieces into place so that you can eventually get to the place of greater prosperity. But it's a journey. It's a 3-year journey. Remember that. So the first year and a half, it's about dealing with that inner stuff. It's about forgiveness, bringing forth forgiveness. It's about understanding what you are going to forgive because you're better off letting it go. Is really what it comes down to. If some belief, if some situation in the past, if someone else's opinion is getting in the way of your absolute abundance and your healthy relationship to the value of what you're giving, then for yourself as a completely selfish act. You forgive so that you can let it go, so that you can move into a much more empowered and clearer future as well. And you do that work. And in the second part of this cycle, especially once we get into 2017, the rewards will be there, and they will come quick and fast and grand as well. And so while there may be a feeling of insecurity, especially in the beginning, and I do think, I will be very honest with you, I do think that it is not uncommon for people when they go through this cycle. It is not uncommon for changes to take place in the workplace. And so what that means is there might be a change of status. For some people, this is about loss. I'm going to be honest, in the beginning. It can happen. However, if that should happen, that really is the universe telling you that you are not supposed to be there. Now remember, the money you need is going to be there. Absolutely. With this cycle, because some of your most important lessons are going to come around money and value and earning and giving, the money you need is going to be there. It might not always feel very secure, but it is going to be there. And so do your best, surrender the rest, and you will find yourself being able to attract money. If something does change, it's almost like the universe, or it is certainly, not almost, it's definitely the universe saying to you, you don't need this situation anymore. You don't need to be doing that work anymore. Honor that so that you can let that go and move into something else that's much more what you are meant to do. Something that feels much more empowering, much more clear. You participate in that process. I tell you, once we get you into 2017, the rewards are there. You're in work that you enjoy, that you like. Financial rewards certainly is a part of that picture as well. And work-wise, the work just becomes so much more fulfilling. And you really start putting yourself on a pathway to prosperity. That isn't the kind that just comes quickly and goes, but rather you make leaps forward, or leaps up rather, and they stay. This is a type of stable progress that can be with you for a very, very long time to come, and create stable prosperity for you as well for a very long time to come. Honor your creativity, honor your vision, honor what it is that you want to do, and honor the ways in which the universe is going to try to speak to you to guide you towards more fulfilling ways of earning your money. Now, for some of you, while there may be losses, for others of you, there may actually be an increase in responsibilities, not always feeling like it's being matched by the money that you're getting, but there can be an increase of responsibilities at this time. There may be, I got to be honest, if it's something you've been working for a long time, it might be when you get there, you feel a little disillusioned at first. You're not really sure what you're doing. You don't know why you were going for this in the first place. It's just about the ebb and flow. So the ebb might be, may need to pace yourself, but once you get to the flow, my goodness, are you flowing and shining and doing your thing very, very well. Ultimately, the higher lesson here is about looking at value, particularly self-value. What is it that you want in your life? Why do you want it? Getting clear on that. And also understanding that there is something that you uniquely have to give that actually is worth a whole lot and will be appreciated by a whole lot of people as well. Well, thank you so much for watching this Saturn special. It'll be a great transit of Saturn moving through Sagittarius. Enjoy.